Hi everyone. I'm going to talk a little bit about volume of prisms right now. So first let's try to understand the different types of prisms. A prism basically is a 3D shape. Comes in different, they categorize them differently. There's a rectangular prism, a triangular prism, and a trapezoidal prism. There's other types of prism, but these are the three we're going to talk about. So a rectangular prism is generally just a shoebox that you would consider, or a cube. It's a box shape, so it has as a base a rectangle. A triangular prism is also 3D shaped, and what it basically is it has a triangle as its base. So if you think of a tent, you can think of a triangular prism. So a tent will have a triangle here on one side and a triangle here on the other side. And I always think of the triangles being like the bread in a sandwich. They're the outside, and everything inside the sandwich. The triangles are the bread. And trapezoidal prism is again a 3D shape, and the trapezoid here is the main shape. Again, there's going to be one on this side and a trapezoid on the other side that we can't really see. There's three quadrilaterals inside this trapezoidal prism. So again, if you look at these trapezoids, again, the trapezoid has a set of one set of parallel lines. The trapezoids become the bread, and inside the sandwich are the quadrilaterals. So here's a trapezoidal prism. There's two trapezoids, and 1, 2, 3, and then on the bottom would be 4 quadrilaterals. A triangular prism has one triangle here, a rectangle here on this side, rectangle on the other side, and rectangle on the bottom. And then there's a rectangular prism. And any one of these rectangles, like if you choose this set of rectangles, that's going to be your base, or the two top one and the bottom, or even the sides. So the rectangular prism, you can use any pair. They're all the same. But there are 6 sides altogether. Anyway, so that's what we're going to look for, and we're going to try to find the volume. So what is volume again? Volume is what it takes to fill up the 3D shape. So, and what we use are cubic units. So right here I have a 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch little cube, or it could be 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter cube, or 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot, or 1 yard by 1 yard by 1 yard. But it's 1 by 1 by 1 cube. And essentially what volume is I'm taking how many of these cubes will it take to fill up this 3D shape. That's what volume means. How many of these unit cubes will it take to fill up any of these shapes? That's how we calculate volume. Now the general formula for finding the volume of prisms is you take the area of a base of a prism times by the height. So let's take a look at that. So the bases of a rectangular prism is going to be just a rectangle, and generally we calculate the area of a rectangle as base times height, and then we'll multiply it by the other dimension that a 3D shape gives us, which is the bigger height. In a triangular prism, we'll take the area of the triangle. So this is going to be 1/2 base times height of this triangle. That's the base. And we'll times it by the height of this triangular prism. In a trapezoid, we're going to take the area of this trapezoid here, and then we're going to calculate it by the height of the trapezoid. So I have some examples here that we're going to do. I have 3 of these, and we're going to calculate the volume for all of these. So the first one is a triangular prism, and it's 2 right triangles, and inside this sandwich is going to be 3 shapes here. We're going to, again, we're just finding the volume. If this is all in feet, we're going to say that the result's going to be cubic feet, or feet cubed. So first I find the area of one of the triangles. So I have a triangle. I'm going to draw it here. It's a right triangle, 5 and 5. So the area of this triangle is 1/2 base times height. So it'll be 1/2 times base times height, which is 5 times 5. And that's how I get the area of the base, which is right here. And now I'm going to calculate it by the height of the triangular prism, so that's times 10. So if I calculate this, it would be 1/2 times 250, which is 25 times 10. And that equals 125. And then let's say if this was in feet, let me rewrite that. 125 feet cubed. And that's how we write cubic feet. All right, let's take a look at this trapezoidal prism. I don't know if you can see it. I have here as a trapezoid. And remember, trapezoid means I have two bases. This one here is 14, and this one is 6, and a height which is 8. So first I'll calculate the base, the trapezoid here, the area of the base. Remember, there's two of these. So for a trapezoid, the formula is 1/2 times the height, which is 8. And then I add the bases, 14 plus 6. And after I calculate this, I'm going to multiply it by the height, which is 2. So this is my height. So here we go, trapezoidal, 1/2 times the height, base 1 plus base 2, that's the area of a regular trapezoid, and then multiply it by the height, which is this thing, how deep it goes. So if we do that, I get 1/2 of 8, and then this is 20 times 2. So this would be 4. Well, let me just multiply these out. So this would be, that's okay, 4 times 20, half of 8 is 4, times 20 times 2. So this would be 80, or 20 times 8 is 160. Or 80 times 2 is 160. So 160, and if, let's say if these were inches, it would be inches cubed. And that's the volume. And finally, I've got here as an example the area, or trying to find the volume of this this box. It's not really drawn really well, but so we'll find the base, which is, let's say, 7 times 13. And then we'll multiply it by the height. So area of base times the height, which is going to be 4. And if you're used to working with this before, you can notice this is height, length, width, and depth, or base, what I call base and height, and then it would be also just the other height that they have. So if I multiply all these up, I get 7 times 13. 13 times 7 is 1, carry the 2, 91. And then 91 times 4 would be 4 and 36. So my answer is going to be 364. And if these were, let's say, centimeters, it would be centimeters cubed. Like that. All right, and that's how you find the volume of 3 prisms, rectangular, triangular, and trapezoidal.